Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Azhariyah Khalida. My ID number is 0085. And now I will explain about CLT. One is Communicative Language Teaching. What is CLT? Communicative Language Teaching, or CLT, is an approach to language teaching that emphasizes the development of communicative competence. According to Johnson and Brown, 2007, CLT is approach a basic framework or set of general principles of teaching which believes that the best method to learn a language is through active and meaningful social interaction, cooperation, opinion sharing, negotiation, and dialogue. Next, characteristic of CLT. According to H. Douglas Brown, 2007, CLT has several characteristics. First, classroom goals focus on all components of communicative competence. LT aims to develop communicative competence, which includes linguistic competence, sociolinguistic competence, discourse competence, strategic competence. And next, fluency and accuracy are both important. CLT emphasizes fluency, speaking natural without hesitation rather than just accuracy. Mistakes are tolerated if communication is successful. And then number three, focus on real-world communication. CLT encourages the use of authentic language in meaningful context. Number four, student-centered learning. The teacher acts as a facilitator rather than a knowledge provider. Number five, use of authentic and functional language. Language instruction is based on real-life situations rather than isolated grammar experience. Activities like order food, asking for directions, or making phone calls. And number six, integration of the four language skills: speaking, listening, reading, or writing are all together. And then activities encourage students to use multiple skills at the same time. Number seven, communication takes priority over form. The goal is to convey meaning effectively rather than focusing only on grammar and sentence structure. And last, interactive and cooperative learning. Students often work in pairs or groups to encourage interaction. And next, purpose and function of CLT. Purpose of CLT is to develop communicative competence in learners, enabling them to use the language effectively and appropriately in a real-life situation, unlike traditional methods that focus on grammar and rote memorization. CLT emphasizes meaningful communication, interaction, and fluency. And next, the function of CLT. The function of CLT include developing communicative competence, promoting fluency, targeting skills, and make learning more interactive and meaningful. Next, method of CLT. The methods of CLT. First, task-based language teaching. First, task-based language teaching. In this method, a student-centered method where learners complete the work task using the target language. For example, the task role play, a job or interview, ordering food in a restaurant, and then planning a trip with classmates. Number two, information gap activities. In this method, learners work in pairs of groups where each person has part of the information needed to complete a task. For example, one student has a map and the other asks to ask for directions. And then students have different parts of a story and must reconstruction in so conversation. Number three, role play and simulation. In this method, students take on different roles in realistic scenarios to practice communication skills, and then encourage spontaneous conversations and problem solving. For example, doctor and patient consultation, and then example buying and selling in a marketplace, customer service interaction. Uh, Number four, problem solving and discussion activities. In this method, students work together to solve problems, make decisions, or express opinions, and then encourage critical thinking and negotiation of meaning. For example, debates on social issue, solving a mystery or escape room challenge in English, planning an event, and deciding on a budget. Number five, project-based learning or PBL. In this method, learners collaborate on long-term projects and then help students to use language naturally while working towards the meaning goal. For example, the student creating a travel for a country and then making video news, report on a school event, and then conducting interviews and presenting findings. Number six, games and interactive activities. In this method, games encourage fun and natural communication in a low-stress environment. Example, find someone who. Students ask personal questions to find people who certain criteria. And then taboo, like describing a word without using key vocabulary. And then characters or dictionary for for vocabulary practice. And number seven, authentic materials and use media exposure to real world materials. Example like newspaper, podcast, video, social media to improve language comprehension. For example, uh, watching and discussing movie clips and then listening to interview, next reading and summarizing news articles. And last, the natural approach. In this method, focuses on meaningful communication rather than forcing speech production. Students are exposed to comprehensible input before being required to speak. For example, listening to a teacher tell a story with gesture and visual before discussing it. Yeah, and last, example of CLT application to speaking skills in the classroom. The methods that using in this class are authentic material and role play. The first step, the teacher shows a short video of someone ordering food at a restaurant. For example, the video on YouTube with how to order food at a restaurant. And then after watching the video, the teacher discusses the expressions with use. I like to order. Can I have uh, can I have a mini please? What do you recommend? I will have a burger with fish. Can I get the bill please? And then the teacher acts out a dialogue with one of the students to show an example of natural conversation. Okay, that's all of me. Thanks for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.